I can't tell you her name, but you've seen her face on magazine covers, heard her voice on the radio, watched her accept awards with tears in her eyes. America's sweetheart, the girl next door who made it big. Clean reputation, family values, never a scandal to her name. I've been her personal assistant for 3 years now, and I thought I knew everything about her life. Every appointment, every meeting, every phone call goes through me. Until I started noticing the gaps, little spaces in her schedule that didn't make sense. Nights when she'd tell me she was going home, but her security detail would report she never arrived. Mornings when she'd show up glowing, happy, but couldn't explain where she'd been. For someone whose entire life is documented, photographed, and scheduled down to the minute, these mysterious absences felt impossible. But they were happening, more and more frequently. 3 months ago, she started asking for personal time on her calendar. No details, no explanations, just blocks of hours marked private. Her management team assumed it was spa days or therapy sessions. Her publicist thought maybe she was writing a book. Her family figured she needed space from the constant attention. Nobody questioned it. Why would they? She's never given anyone a reason not to trust her. But I'm the one who handles her phones, her emails, her credit card statements, and there were no spa charges, no book deal meetings, no therapy appointments, just empty spaces where she should have been. The first real clue came 2 weeks ago. I was cleaning out her car after a charity event. She'd been rushing to get to another appearance, left her purse behind, asked me to grab it. That's when I saw it, on the floor of the passenger side, partially hidden under the seat. A men's watch. Expensive. Really expensive. The kind of custom timepiece that costs more than most people's cars. My first thought was that maybe it belonged to her bodyguard or her driver, but I knew their watches. This wasn't theirs. This was something special. Handcrafted, unique. I took a photo, planning to ask her about it later. Maybe she was holding it for someone. Maybe it was a gift she was planning to give. But something made me research it first. The brand, the model, the specific customization. I spent hours online tracking down every detail. What I found made my heart race. This wasn't just any expensive watch. This was a one-of-a-kind piece, custom-made, personal engraving, only one in existence. Whoever owned this watch, there was only one of them in the entire world. I was planning to ask her about it the next day, but then came the family dinner. She hosts them once a month, religiously. Big family gatherings at her house, parents, siblings, nieces, nephews, cousins, everyone comes. These dinners are legendary. She posts photos, talks about them in interviews, built her entire public image around being a family-first person. The media loves it. America's sweetheart who never forgot where she came from, who puts family above fame. I usually help coordinate these events, make sure there's enough food, coordinate schedules, handle the logistics. That night, after dinner, everyone was looking at old photo albums. Her mom was showing off pictures from her college graduation, her sister's wedding, family vacations. I was in the kitchen, cleaning up, when her mother called me over. "Come see these photos of graduation day. Wasn't she beautiful?" I walked over, expecting to see the usual family snapshots. Cap and gown, proud parents, celebration poses. But there was another photo mixed in with the graduation pictures. A candid shot of the family at what looked like a backyard barbecue. And there, in the background, was a man I'd never seen before. He was laughing, arm around one of her cousins, clearly part of the family gathering. And on his wrist was the watch, the exact same watch I'd found in her car. I tried to stay calm, but my hands were shaking. I discreetly pulled out my phone and compared the photo ID taken in her car to the watch in this family picture. It was identical. Same design, same band, same everything. I had to ask. "I don't recognize him," I said, pointing to the man in the photo. "Is he family? I don't think I've seen him at any of the monthly dinners." Her mother's face changed immediately. The happy, reminiscing expression faded into something much sadder. "Oh, that's my sister's son," she said quietly. "We don't talk about him much anymore." "Why not? He disappeared 3 years ago, went hiking in the mountains, never came back. Reska looked for weeks, but she shrugged helplessly. We never found out what happened to him. His mother, my sister, she was devastated, still is. We don't bring him up at family gatherings because it's too painful. 3 years ago, the same time she started having those mysterious gaps in her schedule. What was his name? I asked, trying to keep my voice casual. David Chun. He was such a sweet boy, always made everyone laugh. She used to be so close to him, like a big sister. The pieces were clicking together in my mind, but I couldn't quite believe what I was thinking. How close were they? Oh, inseparable as kids. When she got famous, he was one of the few people who treated her exactly the same. No starstruck nonsense, no asking for favors, just family. David would probably be, 32 now? She trailed off, not wanting to finish that sentence. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept staring at the photo on my phone, comparing it to the watch, thinking about those missing hours in her schedule. Could it be possible? Could David still be alive? And if he was, why was she keeping it a secret from her family, from everyone? The next morning, I decided to be direct. I found this in your car, I said, showing her the photo of the watch. Her face went completely white. For a moment, she looked like she might faint. Where did you find that? On the floor. Passenger side? Is there something you want to tell me? She sat down heavily, like the weight of keeping this secret had finally become too much. You can't tell anyone. Promise me. I promise. But I think I already know. It's David, isn't it? Your cousin David. He's alive. She started crying, not the pretty, camera-ready tears I'd seen at award shows. Ugly, exhausted crying that looked like it had been held back for years. He's alive. He's been alive this whole time. But why hasn't he come home? Why doesn't the family know? Because he doesn't want to come home. He never wanted the attention, the questions, the media circus. When he disappeared, he did it on purpose. He was tired of being connected to my fame, tired of people asking him for access to me, tired of reporters trying to get quotes about my childhood. So he faked his own disappearance, not exactly faked. He really did get lost in the mountains. But when the search teams couldn't find him, he realized it was the perfect opportunity to start over. He's been living under a different name, in a different state. Working construction, keeping to himself, living the quiet life he always wanted. And you've been secretly seeing him. She nodded. For 2 years now. Ever since he reached out to me. He missed family, missed connection, but he didn't want to come back to all the complications. So, you've been meeting in secret, hotel rooms, rental houses, places where nobody would recognize either of us. It was the only way we could spend time together without exposing him. But why not tell the family? They're heartbroken. His mother thinks he's dead. Because if they know he's alive, someone will slip up. Someone will mention it to the wrong person. It'll become a news story. Missing cousin of superstar found alive. He'll be thrust back into the spotlight he was trying to escape. And I'll be the one who destroyed the piece he finally found. The tragedy of it hit me. She wasn't keeping the secret to protect herself. She was keeping it to protect him. But in doing so, she was letting her entire extended family live with the grief of thinking he was dead. Does he know how much pain his mother is in? Of course he knows. It tears him apart, but he also knows that if he comes back, he'll never have privacy again, never have a normal life. The media will follow him forever, the cousin who came back from the dead. His story will become bigger than his life. So you meet in secret and let everyone think he's dead. It's not fair to anyone, not to him, not to his mother, not to me. But it's the only solution that keeps him safe. She looked exhausted, like she'd been carrying this weight for years. Do you love him? The question slipped out before I could stop it. Too personal, too direct. But she answered anyway. Not romantically. He's family. But I love him enough to lie to everyone else I love to protect him. That's why you never date publicly, why you never seem to have a personal life. How can I date anyone when I am spending my free time secretly meeting my supposedly dead cousin? How can I bring someone into my life when the most important relationship I have is built on a lie? The sadness in her voice was overwhelming. He wants to come back. Sometimes, especially around holidays, family birthdays, but then he thinks about the circus it would create and he chooses to stay hidden. And I enable it because I can't bear the thought of losing him again. Even if it means lying to his grieving mother. Even if it means living a double life. Even if it means I can never have a normal relationship because I am always protecting someone else's secret. We sat in silence for a long time. Finally, she spoke again. You're the first person I've told. The weight of keeping this alone. It's been destroying me. What are you going to do? I don't know. I want him to come home. I want his mother to know he's safe. I want to stop lying to everyone. But I also want to protect the choice he's made, even if I don't agree with it. Maybe there's a middle ground. Maybe he could see his mother privately, without making it public. I've suggested that he's terrified she'll guilt him into coming back completely. And honestly, she probably would. So, you're trapped between his need for privacy and everyone else's need for truth. Exactly. And I'm the one paying the price. My personal life, my relationships, my mental health, all so he can have the anonymity he wants. She looked at me with the saddest smile I'd ever seen. Sometimes loving someone means making sacrifices they'll never even know about. The public sees me as America's sweetheart with perfect family values. If they only knew that my deepest relationship is with someone who's supposed to be dead, and that I am willing to let an entire family grieve falsely to protect one person's privacy. The moral complexity of it was staggering. Was she being selflessly protective or selfishly enabling? Was he being reasonable about privacy or cruel about his family's pain? There were no easy answers. What do you need from me? Just what you've already given me. Someone who knows the truth. Someone I don't have to lie to. The loneliness of keeping this secret has been almost worse than the secret itself. That night, I realized something about fame that I'd never understood before. The people we think have perfect lives, perfect families, perfect relationships, they're often the ones carrying the heaviest secrets. She's built her entire image on family values and closeness, but she's sacrificing her own happiness to protect someone who may not even deserve that protection. And the world will never know the price she's paying for love that has to stay hidden. Sometimes the most family-oriented people are the ones most trapped by family obligations, even when those obligations require them to lie to everyone they claim to love.